to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. In today's video, I'm going to be eating and exercising like Elsa's Wholesome Life for 24 hours. So I've been following Elsa for, well, her real name's actually Ellie. She calls herself Elsa's Wholesome Life as her kind of like business name, I'd say. But yeah, she has some great plant-based recipes. She's actually a dietitian herself, so she really knows what she's talking about in terms of, you know, the nutrients in food, and she creates some really good wholesome recipes, don't mind the pun. And yeah, so I'm going to take you through exactly what I eat, as well as a high intensity workout that I do during the day. But also stay tuned to the end because I'm going to do a review of some spoons I recently purchased from her store. So she actually has like an e-commerce store called the Wholesome Store as well. And I was able to get my hands on these spoons, which are so cute, but I'm going to tell you more about that later, so stay tuned to the end if you want to hear about these spoons, or I have the timestamps down below. You can just skip forward to the end if you're only here for that. But with all that said, let's jump straight into the video. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you soon. Bye! So for breakfast this morning, I decided to have some toast. Ellie usually uses like a thick cut sourdough bread, but I didn't have any of that at home, so I just used some bread that I had in the freezer. And then I am doing one piece of toast with about half of an avocado on it, and I just mash that up with some salt and pepper, and then I put on some little cherry tomatoes as well as some pepper on top. So in her recent videos, she's basically been having avo toast every single video that I've seen recently. And on her Instagram as well, she has it a lot. So that's what I went with today. But I also was really craving something sweet because you guys know I just love having sweet food in the morning. So I also had a piece of toast with some peanut butter, banana, and cinnamon, which is such a great combo if you haven't tried that already. And then for my coffee, I'm having it with Oatly oat milk because that is also, funnily enough, her favorite milk. So it's just great that she loves the same milk as me because Oatly is amazing. A few hours after breakfast, I decided to go for a walk and get some coffee. I got an oat milk latte and I had a nice stroll along the river, and I was able to take my mask off for a few minutes while I drank the coffee, which is such a nice thing to do for a little bit to get a bit of fresh air. But then the mask went back on and back home for lunch. And now onto lunch, we are having rice paper rolls. I absolutely love rice paper rolls, and I haven't had them in ages because it's been winter and it's been cold. But today it was a lovely summer's day, and so I decided to have her rice paper rolls. So she has a rice paper roll recipe in her book, The Global Vegan, which is an amazing cookbook, by the way. It's so good. But I didn't actually make this recipe. I made a recipe off one of her recent What I Eat in a Day videos because it was just a lot more simple, required less prep, and I just wanted something simple and easy, so that's what I went with. So here I'm just chopping up some tofu into little rectangles, and then I'm just gonna cut up all of my veggies. So you can use whatever veggies you want, and I'm not using the exact same veggies as her because I just obviously used what I had at home. But today I'm using some cucumber, which I'm just finely kind of slicing into little matchsticks, as well as some carrot, which I'm just going to grate up with a little mandolin grater. You could cut it by hand, but I just like the carrot a bit thinner, so that's why I use this. So I've also got some fresh mint leaves, and that's really the key in this recipe. It just adds this beautiful freshness and deliciousness. So I highly recommend fresh mint, but you could use another fresh herb like coriander or something like that. Then I'm going in with some red cabbage. This adds a beautiful color and crunchiness, as well as some avocado. And that's it for the vegetables. And now we're just going to make a little sauce, which is my favorite sauce. I didn't use her recipe because I just have my own satay sauce recipe that's just so simple and easy, which is just peanut butter and hoisin sauce. So simple, and I just add in a little bit of water to kind of thin it out a bit because otherwise it's a bit too thick for dipping. And that is all I do. I think her one was also pretty simple, but I just have my recipe, so I went with that. And that is pretty much all you need to do. Now it's time to assemble the rice paper rolls. So this is a tip which she said in her video and was actually really helpful. So on the plate that I used to prepare the rice paper rolls, I just put some sesame oil on that and kind of rubbed it in. And that means that the rice papers don't stick to the plate, which is something that I've struggled with a lot in the past. So it's actually such a great tip and it worked really well. So all I'm doing here is slightly wetting a rice paper and then putting that on my oiled plate. And then you just assemble it however you like. I like to put the mint leaves on the bottom, And then I go in with some tofu and some vegetables, and then I think I ended up putting another piece of tofu on top because I love tofu and I wanted 2 pieces of tofu in the rice paper roll. And in terms of rolling up the roll, you kind of just roll it up like a burrito. So you kind of just roll a bit and then you fold in the sides and then you keep rolling. So you have to make sure to fold in the sides. That's the most important part. But you know, mine weren't perfect. I didn't really roll them tight enough, but it doesn't really matter. You can just do it however you like as long as it stays closed. Like that's the only real aim of it. So yeah, that's it. I just repeated that for all the rolls. I ended up making 4 proper rolls. So I ate 1 because I was so hungry, and then I made 3 and I cut them in half, you know, just like for photos to make it look pretty. And then as you'll see later, I also made like a leftovers roll, and I tend to do this every time I make rice paper rolls because there's always some veggies left over, and I don't know, I always eat all the tofu, but all the veggies are left over. But anyway, here is the final product. They honestly taste so good. And I was actually kind of skeptical about having plain tofu because usually I'll cook my tofu. I love baking it in the oven because it gets nice and crispy, and I always marinate it, but this was just plain and it actually tasted really good, so would recommend. So I was feeling a bit peckish in the afternoon because the rice paper rolls weren't super filling, and I decided to make this protein shake. So she actually has this a lot for breakfast, like a second breakfast kind of thing. But I was fine after my toast, so I was like, I'll have the smoothie later. So all I'm doing in here is putting some ice, some almond milk, some dates, some protein powder, and half of a frozen banana. And then you blend that all up and it's this beautifully delicious date smoothie. I've made a very similar smoothie in a previous video. It's something that I actually make a lot myself, so I loved it and it was the perfect texture, and yeah, it was super filling and a great snack. Alright, so the workout I'm doing today is actually from one of Ellie's older videos, so I'll link that in the description box below. But basically it's a high intensity interval training session, HIIT for short, if you know what that means. So it was 9 exercises and I did the circuit 3 times with little to no break between sets. So first off, I did some lunges, and then I did some lunge pulses, then I did some squats as well as squat pulses, and the pulses is really what gets you. Like, oh, my legs the next day was so sore. Anyway, I went on to do some squat jumps as well as some glute bridges with a band, and then some pulses as well. Again, the pulses, they're what really get you. I don't really do pulses that often, but honestly, like after this workout, I really want to incorporate more of them into my workouts because they really fatigued my muscles, and the next 2 days I was sore, so it was really good actually. Then I just finished off with some Russian twists and some more squat jumps. So that was the whole workout. It's actually pretty quick and simple. You just have to repeat that another 2 times. As you can probably tell, I'm sweating a lot. That was pretty intense. I think my heart rate got up to like 190 at one stage. Well, that's what my watch said anyway. I think it's pretty accurate, which is pretty high for me. I would probably only ever get that high when I'm like fully like hard running. So it was definitely very high intensity for me. My usual weight sessions are a lot longer and I take way more breaks, and yeah, it's just like it's higher weights but less reps is what I tend to do because I'm trying to grow muscle. In her video, as well as that high intensity circuit, she also did some cardio. So she was, I think, on the stair machine at the gym, obviously back before COVID. So I am gonna go for a run/walk. I'm gonna do like, I think I'll do 10 minutes walking, 10 minutes running because it's almost dinner time and like can't really be bothered doing much more than that today. So yeah, that is it for the workout. I will see you guys at dinner. Bye. So after my run/walk, I was kind of hungry and I was craving something refreshing, and I had this watermelon in the fridge, so I went ahead and ate like half of this container of watermelon, and it was so good and so refreshing. This, I haven't really seen in any of ELSA'S videos, but like, you know, I was hungry, I felt like watermelon, I ate watermelon. You feel? So for dinner, I'm making another recipe from one of her recent What I Eat in a Day videos, and this is a vegan chili. So I kind of mixed it up a bit and I made my own potato chips instead of using store-bought corn chips because I just, try to eat more whole foods where I can, and I love potatoes, so that's what I did. And all I did for the potato chips was just get 2 medium-sized potatoes and cut them up into thin slices. The thinner you slice the potato, the more crispy your chips are going to be. So some of mine were a bit thicker and those ones didn't turn out as crispy as the thinner sliced ones. So I would probably recommend using like a mandolin slicer if you have one of those and if you want them super crispy. But if you're not too fast like me, just cut them thin-ish and you'll be fine. So I just put some salt and put them straight in the oven at 200 degrees for about, I'd say 30 minutes. And yeah, this is the recipe. It's also from her book. So I didn't really follow exactly her recipe, but I stayed pretty close to it. So I added in all the spices she said, which was cumin, ground coriander, smoked paprika, and some chili. So I just heated up those spices until they became fragrant with some olive oil in the pan there. And then I'm adding in 1 brown onion, all chopped up. Again, you just want to stir that through, cook it down a little bit before we add in the next ingredients, which are some tomatoes. So in her recipe, she said to add in capsicum, but there was no good capsicum at the store. So I just added in an extra fresh tomato along with the can of diced tomatoes. Then you want to mix that all up. And I added in some stock powder here. It's just beef style stock, so it doesn't have real beef. It's vegan, of course, but it gives a nice flavor to it. Then I added in some beans. I've got some pinto beans as well as a 3-bean mix here. I think she used chickpeas and black beans, but I wasn't really vibing chickpeas in this dish, so yeah, that's what I went with. Then I added in some chipotle seasoning. This is seriously delicious. I just got it from Woolworths, so I would recommend picking that up if you like that kind of chipotle taste in your beans and other Mexican things. So by this time, my chips were nice and crispy and delicious, and it was time to serve up. So I used some of this salad mix I had left over as kind of the base, just to kind of bulk up the bowl a bit. I like to use these really nice big bowls, but you need to add some veg into it to fill it out a bit. So I used that and I just layered in my potato chips and my chili bean mix, as well as some guacamole, which I just used some fresh lime, salt and pepper, and avocado. And I think I used about half of an avocado here. That's what I tend to do with guacamole. And that was it. It was so good. Honestly, delicious. I got my boyfriend to try it too and he loved it as well. So it is approved for the whole fam. I would recommend trying out this recipe. Chili and beans in general are just so satisfying and very wholesome, full of great healthy nutrients, and yeah, would recommend. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below what you liked about it, if you eat any of these foods, if you know about Elsa's Wholesome Life, if you don't, just anything. I just love to hear what you guys have to say, so yeah. So now it's time for the spoon review. If you guys have come here just for that, hi. I just wanted to quickly walk you through these spoons. So I bought them about, I would say 3 weeks ago, and they took maybe 2 weeks to get here, which is fine because they're coming from Queensland and COVID delays and everything, so I wasn't too worried about that. But the next batch, I'm pretty sure, is on pre-order and I think they've sold out already, so it might be pretty hard to get your hands on them. However, I did want to give it a quick review to let you guys know what I think of it now that I've actually got it. So first impressions are 10 out of 10. When I first unwrapped it, it was so pretty. I took an Instagram story, so I'll try and insert that here. It was just so pretty and the packaging was really nice. It has this really pretty tissue paper that it comes in. But anyway, so initially I was like, oh my god, they're amazing. And I still think they're amazing. Every time I eat with them, it just makes the whole dish just feel nicer because they're really they're quite heavy. They're not too heavy, but I guess they're heavier than your regular kind of spoons. So it has a nice weight to it. And I really like the size. So this bigger spoon, it's kind of, I think they call it a dessert spoon. And then we have the teaspoon here, which is perfect for things like sauces, you know, like if I'm having like a satay sauce with rice paper rolls, this little spoon's perfect for that. I also like eating my porridge with a teaspoon because it just makes the porridge last for longer. And then these bigger ones are perfect for smoothie bowls and soups and anything really. So yeah, I really love the designs. You can see them all here, but I will note the back of them is all just plain. So they don't really show that on the website. The back is just plain, which is fine. I mean, you don't really see the back anyway. And there's also this really cute little logo detail on the back there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a nice little detail. And yeah, I really like them. They're really good. The only thing I would say is on the back of this one, there's a little, can you see that? There's like a little dark bit there. And I don't really know if that's like a fault or something. I mean, I guess it's fine because it's on the back, so no one's really gonna notice. But the back of the other ones are all shiny except for like that little bit there. So I would say that like, I don't know, I think the quality is like a 95 out of 100, like 9.5 in terms of quality. Like it does feel really good, but I am worried that they are going to tarnish after a while. Like I think, yeah, I've got like a few kind of scratches on the back of this one already, and I've only used it a few times. So yeah, I think it might tarnish a bit over time, but I mean, what can you do? I mean, I guess that's kind of expected because I'm assuming it's just like plated with some kind of gold stuff. But other than that, they're really good and they look beautiful in photos. So if you're only getting them for like photo purposes, I would say 100% get them. But if you're getting them to like last a long time, I would say, I mean, I don't obviously know yet because I've only had it for about a week, but I don't think these are going to be super durable. I haven't actually put mine in the dishwasher yet. I've hand washed the whole thing, but probably the scratches have come, I don't even know what the scratches have come from, like maybe like scraping the bottom of a bowl. So yeah, I would say these probably aren't the best spoons for longevity, but they're really, really good spoons for food styling, and that's mainly what I'm using them for. However, I have literally been using them every day because I just like eating from them. But yeah, so that's a full review. I totally would buy them again because I honestly just think they're so beautiful. But if I wasn't a blogger slash YouTuber kind of person and I was just a normal person, I probably wouldn't go to the effort of buying them again because they are pretty expensive. I think they were $17 each for the bigger ones and maybe like 13 or 12 for the smaller one. So they're pretty expensive for spoons, and if you don't really need it, I would say it's probably not worth it. However, I really do like eating from it, so I'm not sure. I think I wouldn't have gone to the effort if it wasn't for the fact that I'm using them for food styling, but I do really enjoy them and I'm really glad I've got them. So that is my completed review on those spoons. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are new here, it would mean the world to me if you could hit that subscribe button down below and click the bell notification button if you want to be notified every time I post a new video. It really supports my channel and I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you guys are having the best day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.